Casual Friday. That means Monday is Casual Monday. Tuesday, Casual Tuesday. Wednesday, Casual Hump Day. Thursday, Casual Thurs. That's what we call it. And Friday, Casual Shabbat. The Majority Report with Sam Seder.
It is Friday, September 12th, 2025. My name is Sam Seder. This is the five-time award-winning Majority Report. We are broadcasting live steps from the industrially ravaged Gowanus Canal in the heartland of America, downtown Brooklyn, USA. On the program today, Kirk killer turned in by his father. He is a 22-year-old son of a former sheriff. Meanwhile, Trump hoping Kirk's murder is his Reichstag moment. Trump announces he will send the military, U.S. military, and invade Memphis.
Not Utah?
Not Utah. Senate Republicans trigger a nuclear option to confirm Trump nominees in large groups. Paramount Skydance looking to buy Time Warner. As Barry Weiss readies to take control of CBS News. A lawsuit filed over the U.S. military's maintaining decades-long system of holding tens of thousands of Korean women in sexual servitude. 16-year-old Evergreen High School shooter in Colorado espoused white supremacist views in lead up to shooting. Trump regime destroys $10 million in contraceptives destined for low-income countries.
Jesus.
Brazil's Bolsonaro sentenced to 27 years as a result of January 6th. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I meant his coup.
He's 70, by the way.
That's how a functioning democracy works.
As Democrats in the Senate demand more info on that U.S. strike on a civilian Venezuelan boat. Venezuela says that boat was not Tren de Agua. California lawmakers passed a bill to ban ICE agents from wearing masks. And grocery inflation is at its highest since the year 2022. Lastly, Israel takes 1,500 Palestinians hostage in the West Bank. All this and more on today's Majority Report. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
It is Casual Friday.
Casual Friday. There you are.
Hello.
So it was just breaking news that they have captured the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk. Now, supposedly the guy has confessed. He apparently confessed to his youth minister. His youth minister, I think, contacted the boy's father, man, 22 years old. The father, former sheriff, then contacted authorities. We know not a huge amount about this guy yet. We know that his family are big ammosexuals. They have a lot of pictures on social media of them with guns and speaking proudly of their sons learning how to use guns. Mm-hmm. We know that the family is largely Republican. You have social media posts of folks in 2016. The shooter's aunt was not happy about anti-Trump protests.
There's the shooter, I guess, dressed up or wore a Trump costume for Halloween. That could be, it's him kind of like riding him, so it could be anti-Trump, it could be pro-Trump. We don't necessarily know.
No, it's difficult. There's a lot of, I mean, it's, people are going to speculate. Now, what we do know is that at the press conference, I guess let's start with this part of the press conference where and this is the governor of Utah, Spencer what? Cox. He reads off the engravings on the shell casings, and there are 4 of them. We'll have him read it off, and it is sort of clear. Maybe this is incorrect, but Spencer Cox certainly has made some assumptions about these inscriptions on the casings that I think maybe belie the fact that these people are not terminally online. But here are the things. He ostensibly is not, he just leaves it up to other people to speculate as to what these means. I mean, it's incredible because the guy's whole speech was about, we're better than this, we shouldn't be insightful, blah, blah, blah. But he's dropping partial information out there that is fuel for people to speculate on what this guy's intentions were or why he killed Charlie Kirk.
In one direction. And this is not new, too. Like, we saw that there were leaks to the Wall Street Journal that have now been disproven, where they were claiming that there was pro-trans stuff written on the ammunition, and they had to walk that back. Clearly, I think the Journal had a pretty source in the government that said that to him and wanted that information out there. Like, this is what the Republican Party is doing, regardless of the facts. They're trying to control the narrative and put it in one direction. Nancy Mace, without any evidence, before we knew any of this, came out and said the Democrats own this, because this is what the party has become now. It's message discipline just to attack the opposition.
And so here is what the guy says, and then we can explain to you what we know these mean, at least outside of a context.
I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital O-W-O, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
Okay, now here's the thing: is like he ostensibly addresses the misinformation of what was engraved on the shell casings to ostensibly stop speculation. But of course, without any context, there's a lot of speculation about this because all of these sayings can point into various different directions. And we don't know what the purpose of this guy putting these etchings on this casing and leaving the rifle within 50 yards of the scene of the crime why he did that. Per the press conference, the actual inscriptions of the cases, we already did that. Okay, so Evan Hill from the Washington Post offers these explanations. The first, notice bulges, OWO, what's this?
His explanation on top is better, I think.
Yeah. Is a copy pasta parroting furries. Furries are people who identify as animals.
Right. Dress up, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know enough about it, to be honest.
Right. And this is, I mean, it's online stuff. I mean, there are kids, elementary school kids, who sometimes will go to school and they really like puppies and they go. And I guess there are people who do that too. And that's that. The second is a reference to calling in an airstrike in the multiplayer game Helldivers,
which has been misreported as, thus far, from what we know, as an Antifa symbol because of the arrows. But quickly people are pointing out that it's actually, the up arrow, right arrow, and then 3 down arrows indicates that it's about this game, Helldivers.
And so this is specifically including the "Hey Fascist" catch, quoting a online video game. The third, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao Ciao Ciao, is a partisan anti-fascist song. I know it's some in Spanish, but I don't know exactly. In the morning, if I'm gone, my dear, I'm going out to fight fascists. Something to that effect. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I know the song. And if you read this, you are gay, laugh my ass off, is if you read this, you're gay, laugh my ass off. Now, the Bella Ciao stuff, one might, that's associated obviously with socialists. If you read this, you're gay, laugh my ass off. I don't know if I wanted to make a statement against Charlie Kirk from the left, if this is what I would put on the casings. Now, the guy's 22 and he's caught up in memes, obviously.
I would say the Bella Ciao thing, The Verge has this piece here. As for the use of Bella Ciao, the song has no obvious connection, but given its historical significance, does appear in a Helldivers mod, as well as at least one other video game, a World War II themed strategy game called Hearts of Iron 4, which I would say is the video game trajectory of that is probably more likely than he's an ideological anti-fascist. Yeah.
We're treading carefully here.
I'm just guessing.
There's a lot of context clues right now.
Bella Ciao appears in this stuff that,
right.
is in video games.
And we also know, and we're not...
Oh, the song is Italian. Bella Ciao is Italian. Yes, I'm sorry.
But I'm also just
Although
not... Oh, did you say French? I'm not saying also that this is the case, but it should be noted that Nick Fuentes' community has long really hated Charlie Kirk, and there has been a major rivalry, including, I guess, them some of the Fuentes fans showing up to Kirk events, and also basically kind of attacking him from the right as being too pro-Jewish, too pro-Israel. I have no idea if that's a connection to this shooter. We do not know. Just want to be clear. But it should be noted that if you're very online, you would be aware of that.
Specifically, Groypers crashing TPUSA conferences maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I'm sure we covered it, actually, where the Groypers were attacking Charlie Kirk on, I think, being on stage with a gay Republican. Now, this was back at a time where Kirk's ideology was more libertarian, less Christian fundamentalist. He's moved over the years as MAGA grew. So we don't know what the reasons why this guy killed Kirk are. Now, this is ultimately relevant because the right has, from the moment that Kirk was shot, attributed this to Democrats and the left. And certainly there has been nothing from Republican officials and the leadership of, in fact, the investigation even, that has done anything except for pour fuel on this fire, while at the same time saying we've got to stop this violence that's going on in the country. Here is Donald Trump on Fox and Friends this morning. And let's just start with clip number one. Remember, Trump is has obviously been horribly distraught at the killing of Charlie Kirk, and he is also very explicitly attempting to use this as a way of both polarizing the country and trying to consolidate his power. This is an hour-long interview, and we'll go through some of the clips as the show progresses. But he's clearly using this moment to try and extend his authority. At one point in the interview, we'll play this. He says that he can change the mayor of D.C. if he wants. But listen to this clip about where Ainsley Earhart asks him about radicals on the left and radicals on the right.
Radicals on the left, people are watching all of these videos and cheering. Some people are cheering that Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble.
I'm sorry. Can we just pause it for 1 sec? Because, yeah, some people, be specific, because when there was an assassination of a Minnesota lawmaker just a few months ago, there was actually a United States senator from the state where this shooting happened, Mike Lee, who was making jokes about it. I have not seen one elected Democrat, one, making a joke like that.
I mean, was he making jokes or was he just lying about who was responsible? He was spreading conspiracy theories that Tim Walz was responsible.
Yeah.
Paid for it. They're professional against him and other people. Street, and we're going to look into that.
What do we do about our country with that? Because we have radicals on the right as well. We have radicals on the left. People are watching all of these videos and cheering. Some people are cheering that Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
Worried about the border.
They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping centers. We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem, and they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy. Although they want men and women sports, they want transgender for everyone, they want open borders. The worst thing that happened to this country, because I've already solved inflation, costs are down. Look at energy costs. You're going to have $2 gasoline.
Pause it for 1
Oh my
second.
God.
Before he continues on with this rant about how the radical leftists are criminals and the radical right just wants the laws not to be broken, like on January 6th, I guess. New inflation data, groceries are higher than they've been since 2022. But just continue.
Gas, groceries, hotel rooms, airfare. I headlined this yesterday. Consumer prices increased 2.9% in August from a year earlier, and it's the highest increase since the start of the year in January.
I've solved just about every problem. The worst thing that happened to our country is when we let 25 million people in, many of which, and I say 80%, should not be in our country. They emptied their prisons into our country. They emptied their mental institutions, insane asylums. You don't know what that is. That's seriously, you know what that is? A mental institution on steroids, okay? They emptied out insane asylums, crazy people, into our country by the millions. And it's it's the hardest thing. We have a border now that's totally secure. Nobody came in. Think of that. They actually had announced nobody. We used to have millions of people come in. Nobody came in. And we back up the border with the military. We've done a great job. But the worst thing that happened to our country is to allow millions of people in from jails, mental institutions.
Okay. So he's But understand, when he talks about this immigration stuff, this is all a predicate for sending in federal troops into cities, to having ICE and justifying the federal police force that's sort of like extrajudicial in many respects. And it's going to be the biggest police force in the country and larger than many other militaries. So he's tying in this notion of, I mean, and I don't know how, how much he maps this out, but at least in his mind, when he talks about radical right, then pivots to radical left, don't want law and order, he immediately starts using immigrants as the predicate for these radical rightists to bring in law and order against the leftists.
Does he think asylum seekers are
No one's corrected him.
insane asylums?
No one has corrected him.
Does he not what?
We talked about this in the election. He's been saying this asylum thing because he's confusing political asylum with insane asylums.
But I want to,
Yeah,
keep going on this note, because understand, this is what he's doing. He is trying to use this, and he also, with the added benefit of people stop talking about Epstein for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
But he is trying to use this because this is a big opportunity for him. In his mind, I don't know if he knows of the Reichstag fire or not, but
Stephen Miller does.
He had a copy of Hitler's speeches on his bedside table per one of his ex-wives.
I just like his stylings.
That's to impress girls.
Yes. But here he is. This is number 4, where he is extending this. They had a conversation later in the program about his endorsement of Andrew Cuomo. But listen to how he characterizes what an election in New York City that elects Zohran Mamdani is.
Let me just say, our country is doing great. A year ago, we had a dead country. It was a dead, embarrassing country. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Mr. President, see these buildings?
Pause it for 1 second. Pause it for 1 second. They all just sort of look at him when he says the hottest country in the world. Nobody knows how to. Yes, when India and China and Russia get together to forge their new alliances against us, they're talking about us. That's the important thing.
Hot
you want
as
them
in
talking to you.
radioactive, hot as in radioactive, hot as in one of those enigmas that never age.
We're in the world.
Mr. President, see these buildings? A lot of them in New York City you built.
I do.
That's called capitalism, not socialism. We have Mamdani, who is ahead of...
Pause it for a second. Now, people don't know this, but in countries that are partially socialist, even fully socialist, there are no buildings. People...
Yeah, like China has a tough time building buildings.
Yes, if you look at they have no buildings. It's all tents.
Also, the way she's talking to him like she's his granddaughter. Mr. President, look over here. Look at this photo of your grandkids. Look over there in the back. I mean, he needs this visual aid for him to look at capitalism. It's...
Trump used illegal undocumented labor to build Trump Tower. He didn't build it himself. He wasn't out there with the hard.
Capitalism. Good.
polls here. What's your reaction? Not socialism. We have Mamdani, who is ahead in the polls here. What's your reaction?
It's amazing.
It's up by 20.
I call him my little communist. He's my little communist mayor. But, you know, he has to come to Washington for money, a lot of money. And it's amazing. I was so surprised by this. Even the other two candidates, I mean, you know, you look at the candidates. Now, maybe one-on-one somebody could beat him, and I'm not looking at the polls too carefully, but it would look like he's going to win. That's a lie. And that's a rebellion. It's also a rebellion against bad candidates, okay? It's a rebellion. They're tired of it. You know, they're seeing things happening. We have taxes being put on us in New York by Democrats that is so bad that even the Democrats are revolting. It's not possible for a Democrat to lose. I did, you know, in the
Okay,
presidential election.
aside from the fact that what he's saying is completely incomprehensible, the Democrat is going to win ostensibly in this election, and he's saying it's a rebellion. And the candidate that he is talking about wants to raise taxes and has been rather public about that. So I don't know what else to say, but that. To call it a rebellion, and then he realizes, like, wait a second, an election's not a rebellion. It's a rebellion against Democrats. And that's why Curtis Sliwa is not going to win.
And it's a rebellion against bad candidates, one of whom I'm endorsing against Zoran Mamdani and Chris Cuomo, or Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, and they were not able to actually strong arm Eric Adams out of the ballot. Like, the ballots are locked in at this point. They were trying to get him to drop out to coalesce behind Cuomo. And I wonder what that, like, it's interesting that they weren't able to get him to do that. I mean, they were able to get him to try to, like, you know, use his pending prosecution to agree to their immigration crackdown. Is that a you know, a harbinger of things to come, of their power waning? I don't know.
Well, I think what happened with Adams, too, on some level, is that the leak that they were having this conversation, there are people who have large investments in Saudi Arabia, and Eric Adams is on team Eric Adams. And I have a feeling that there were other people in the sort of orbit of Trump who said, no, we're not going to send Eric Adams to Saudi Arabia.
Right.
That is not happening.
That's a job for, like, your son, Eric Trump, who's mining all that crypto there so we can make some more money, buddy.
And I suspect that Eric Adams also, you know, he's like, well, if I'm not getting Saudi Arabia, like, I want something very cush, because he's used to getting paid for stuff just even from being a borough president in Brooklyn. So, but this is, understand how they're using this. Now, again, it remains to be seen what the politics of this guy, Tyler Robinson, is. If you look at just the broad context, it does not look like a guy who's coming from an Antifa background. Mm-hmm. But, you know, one never knows, and we need to hear. But certainly some of this, like, we have been saying from the beginning that the Groypers really don't like Charlie Rose. And Charlie Kirk.
Not a big fan of Rose.
Also not a fan of Charlie Rose. But Charlie Kirk. And should also say, we don't hear much of them anymore. The Boogaloo Boys, they had an ideology that was very much about creating a civil war or civil unrest. And if you think about what the implications of this are, you know, the Charlie Kirk being killed, from the perspective of leftists, from the perspective of center lefts, you know, it's also quite possible there's just no coherent ideological or political motive behind this, and someone just wanted to be famous.
Right.
But to the extent that there is any agenda being fulfilled by this, it is not one that benefits leftists. Now, I will say that, like, I've always had a policy of when public people die, judging them based on what they have added to public life. So when, you know, folks like Anna Scalia passed away, this was very beneficial to society, in my estimation. Now, he may be a good dad, he may be a good brother or husband or whatever, but I don't know Antonin Scalia that way. I only know the existence of this guy because of things like getting rid of the Voting Rights Act or a whole host of other horrible rulings. And I felt the same way about folks like Breitbart or Kissinger or whomever it is. And I would feel the same way if there were people who die who, they were helpful to society, but maybe they weren't particularly, a good dad or a good brother or a good, son or whatever. But I found this piece of writing, which I think sums up what I've been saying in the past many times. I don't agree with this person on a lot of things, but when someone dies who is a public figure by virtue of their political acts, like Ronald Reagan, discussions of them upon death will inherently be politicized. How they are remembered is not strictly a matter of the sensitivity of their loved ones, but has substantial impact on the culture which discusses their lives. To allow significant political figures to be heralded with purely one-sided requiems, enforced by misguided, even if well-intentioned notions of private etiquette that bar discussion of their bad acts, is not a matter of politeness. It's deceitful and propagandistic. Glenn Greenwald wrote that some time back. And I think that's accurate. Like, I don't believe that anybody should be shot, killed. I don't think they'd be shot and injured. It's like, those kids who got shot in Colorado on the same day by a white supremacist. But that doesn't mean that you have to pay tribute to the person and whitewash their entire contribution to society.
Like Ezra Klein did in the New York Times.
Like Ezra Klein or whomever.
I mean, and I do think there's something different than, it's a different conversation too when it's a political assassination like this versus like celebrating the death of Scalia from natural causes or something like
100%,
that.
because look,
because of what this means about our culture, our society, the precedent it sets, and regardless of all of our major disagreements with Charlie Kirk, political assassinations and targetings like this are a very, very scary thing. And the fact that we're in this place as a society, we obviously condemn it in the most vociferous terms. So it's
two things can be true.
Exactly.
Two things can be true. That if there is less rhetoric saying that planes that have been misbuilt are falling out of the sky because pilots are black. If there's less rhetoric about saying that slavery was beneficial to black people, if there's less rhetoric saying that people have to die, it's just the price, people getting shot, kids getting shot at schools is the price of having a Second Amendment. I could go on and on.
Black women don't have processing power.
Black women don't have processing power.
Palestine doesn't exist.
Palestine doesn't exist. I mean, I could go on and on. We have probably videos on many of this stuff.
Shouldn't have done the Civil Rights Act.
It shouldn't have done the Civil Rights Act. We're going to make professor watch lists and put professors on watch lists.
Says the free speech guy.
The absence of all that is a positive, but it also has to be offset by the absolute negative of people being shot with guns or, killed by any other method. And so
based on political speech, right? And
based on anything. I mean,
yeah.
Short of like immediate self-defense measures, I don't believe anybody should ever be shot with a gun and, or, killed by any other mean for that matter. And so one can denounce the act.
Don't forget when he said someone should bail out the guy who beat Pelosi's husband with a hammer.
Yes. I mean, and this is a guy who also said, you shouldn't express empathy. It doesn't exist or whatever it was.
It's a new age concept.
Regardless, one should never celebrate this type of violent act. But that doesn't mean that you should celebrate the victim of it because now I understand why people who have a problem with, have questions as to whether black people can be competent or whether, Jews, as he said, not all Jews, but many Jews are conspiring to support these causes.
Anti-white racism.
Anti-white. I can understand why those people would see this guy as some type of martyr because that's their right-wing, authoritarian, revanchist perspective. And so, of course, they have their heroes. Stephen Miller is one of their heroes. But I don't understand why anybody gives Charlie Kirk outside, anybody who doesn't subscribe to that vision of how society should be would give Charlie Kirk any credit. I mean, was he talented as a broadcaster? Or yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of very talented communicators in the world who you wouldn't want, to be in your society. So it's just sort of bizarre to me to watch what's going on in that respect.
Well, I think the people that are most engaging in it in our media are, it's not shocking to me that they're rich white men because kind of once you get to that level of wealth and elitism, partisan differences are a little bit less important, and people begin to just identify with a guy like Charlie Kirk, and Ezra Klein probably has a little bit more, and others who are engaging in this. Like even
calling for people to be deported over political disagreements. He's a nasty guy.
Even Joan Walsh, who is somebody who we'd had disagreements about in the past, about Hillary Clinton's campaign, had a pretty scathing kind of remark about what Klein had to say in the Times in the Nation this morning, and I agree with it completely. Like yesterday, I made a great effort to condemn the violence in the greatest possible terms in terms of the attack on someone's political speech. It's completely indefensible. But you can do that without just doing revisionist history about what Kirk provided to society.
And, the stuff about supposedly he was taken out by Israel or stuff like this, I'm sorry. We'll
get into that, yeah.
Absurd. We could talk about that later, but that's absurd. To the extent that, Charlie Kirk was responding to mounting criticism of Israel in this country, you have to understand that Charlie Kirk was a politician. And his ideological stuff has moved significantly to the right over the course of the past 10 years.
Even on MLK, he used to be more pro-MLK and now is anti-MLK because of Fuentes.
I'm telling you, when I debated that guy in 2017 or 2018, he was significantly more libertarian than he was when he died. And part of that was because he was being challenged over the course of that period of time. I mean, this is a guy whose most recent comment on gay people was that God's perfect law says they should be stoned. I don't know if he subscribed to God's perfect law or not, but he's out there saying that publicly. I am quite sure that there is video out there of the Groypers coming in and at a TPUSA conference and criticizing him for sitting on stage with a gay guy. And so his politics, changed because his base changed. All right, we got to do this ad. It went a little longer than I had anticipated that. We got more of this Trump stuff in a moment. Meanwhile, today's episode is sponsored by one of our favorite sponsors, SunsetLakeSebede.com. Summer's almost over, and if your summer was like mine, you probably need ways to recenter. Although I have to say, it's really the start of the school year.
Oh my gosh.
I had forgot how taxing that can be. As I'm getting like 2 hours of sleep, and my cat has decided now that the time to wake up is 4:30 in the morning.
Oh.
And with me nervous about my son getting enough sleep, I keep his door shut and my door open, and then the cat comes in, and that has nothing to do.
Got to be able to shut the cats away.
That has nothing to do. He's so loud. that has nothing to do with this from sunsetlakesabade.com. Although we all need a little more self-care these days. I'm speaking of myself. Maybe you have some aches from traveling. Maybe you are just, your nerves are a little frayed for what's going on in the world. Maybe you need some help getting your sleep schedule back. I can get to sleep now, and largely in part because of the Good Night Oil from sunsetlakesabade.com. But the problem is I get woken up. However, for you who does not get woken up, try the Good Night Oil. And now is the perfect time to do it, because between now and September 14th, you can save 30% on all of Sunset Lake Sabade's tinctures when you use the coupon code Fall Tincture, TINCTURE. That includes their everyday formulas. They got it in many different concentrations, different flavors. Sleep tinctures. They got some with melatonin, some without, and even their pet tincture. And my understanding is that's for dogs, but I wonder if I gave that to my cat. But the problem is I'd have to give it to him at 4:30 in the morning. That's the problem. But I'll tell you, the Good Night Oil is great. I have given many, many gifts of Sunset Lake Sabade tinctures, and people love it. The sale ends September 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern, so don't wait. Stock up on your favorite tinctures with this deep discount sale. Head over to sunsetlakesabade.com. Use the code Fall Tincture for 30% off of all Sabade tinctures. And of course, you can always use our code Left is Best to save 20% on all the rest of their sun-grown Vermont products. Great company, great political movement partners. I can't say enough about this company. sunsetlake.com, Fall Tincture, 30% off. See their site for terms and conditions, and we'll provide this information in the YouTube and podcast descriptions. All right, let's play a little bit of. Oh, did I even say who's going to be on the program today?
No, you did not.
Bring me back, Frank. Yeah, no, that's okay.
Did you call him Frank? What?
No.
Adam Friedland is going to be on the program in probably 20 minutes. So how's that for an intro? I should
Comedian and host of the Adam Friedland Show.
Yes. I mean, I think people
Tapped.
people know it, right? So I forgot to do that. All right, what should we go back to here? Okay, yeah. So Trump has been in mourning. I'll just give you a sense of this. Here was a question posed to him yesterday. Was this yesterday?
This is this morning.
Oh, this is this morning? Yes. He is back into mourning mode. This is, well, they call it mourning for a reason. This is Donald Trump in the morning today, talking about how difficult it's been. Oh, pause it. I should say, they're asking him, my condolences about Charlie Kirk. How are you holding up? And Trump gets pretty heartfelt here.
How are you holding up over the last 3.5 years? I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty. It'll be an absolutely magnificent structure. And I just see all the trucks. We just started, so it'll get done very nicely, and it'll be one of the best anywhere in the world, actually.
Now, there's a lot of people who say, like, wait a second. Trump's asked, how are you holding up in light of Charlie Kirk passing away? And he goes on to say, immediately to pivot to what's happening with the White House ballroom. And people, I know there's people out there saying, Trump claimed that Charlie Kirk was like a son to him. I think this actually proves that he was.
Exactly.
This is, I can't imagine Trump responding any other way. Now, of course, This is 3 days after. Let's just check out how he was doing last night as he was in mourning for Charlie Kirk.
On 9/11.
I mean,
on
yes,
9/11,
a somber day.
Grief
Grief is not linear, Sam, and it doesn't. You can't judge people
For
because
how they process
for how
this.
they process. There's denial. There's bargaining. We don't. And those,
Sometimes there's the village people.
and sometimes those stages flip.
Here he is last night morning.
That's my jam.
Beautiful song.
I mean,
We can't spend all our time in mourning.
Celebrating the
all
day
your
I got the
problems.
tallest building in New York.
Yep.
do we have the photo of Trump crying though? I mean, he did show some public kind of grief. We played a little bit of footage of this yesterday, but now we have high quality still images of Trump just being, this is the typical face when you're sad, right?
I wish someone would play the YMCA.
Some people were making fun of, maybe Trump might have had a little bit of a droopy face. And oh my God, dude. And there were all these Republicans like, he's just mourning. He's mourning. That's the famous mourning face that you make.
I mean, the most anodyne explanation is that he had dental work done.
I've got problem with my Invisalign.
Sure.
Everybody's on me about that. I like to.
We know that he loves to steal some strokes during golf.
YMCA.
He has a handicap in golf.
Oh my God. Let's.
You want to do this weird Spencer Cox thing where he talked about praying for the identity?
There's a couple of things. This is again from the press conference today, where Spencer Cox wanted to end speculation about what was on the shell casings, and so basically reads off what was on there, which of course is nothing but an accelerant and fuel on a speculative fire. Like, if you genuinely wanted to inhibit speculation, you wouldn't release this information right now until you had a broader context to it. I will also say, at one point during this guy's press conference, as he pretends, and it's sort of fascinating because this was a very, very dog whistle laden press conference, because he knows he's he's got obviously within Utah there is a politeness about Mormonism that he's got to appeal to. He also knows that he's being viewed nationally, and so he's got to come off like he's calling for national reconciliation. But he does specifically say he was proud of Utahns by dog whistling. Essentially, we didn't have any George Floyd protests here. Now, he didn't say George Floyd, but he started going through a litany of things. Now, there's a whole wide range of responses that could happen here. And we know somebody was beaten up, like I think it was in Idaho or Iowa. I'm not sure exactly where there was a protest.
They went past the vigils and said, fuck Charlie Kirk.
Oh, yeah. Idaho.
People didn't respond so well to that. But he did not have to bring up and sort of like contrast what his story of like buildings being burned down and whatnot with this moment, because his people know what he's contrasting. And to, I think, like the sort of like the ears of people who aren't familiar, what is the consistent refrain of right-wingers in this country about what happened during the Biden administration, or, during 2020, it would have passed. But, and here he is now also sort of like, this is a weird thing to pray for.
you know, this bad stuff happens. And for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for. Just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, "Hey, we don't do that here."
Can you pause it?
I wonder who his us was.
Yeah, look at Kash Patel behind him. Like, we don't know who leaked that false information to the Wall Street Journal from the Bureau of ATF. But I believe, but it was false information. And I believe that Kash Patel is the acting director of the ATF, or he was removed, sorry, in April of 2025. Either way, they were trying to get ahead of the narrative to blame trans people immediately because they don't want it to be one of us. And you can look at that if this shooter was from Utah, but was of Muslim descent, or was black, or was Latino, do you think that this governor would be saying
his prayers are answered? His prayers are answered. And I mean, this is like Charlie Kirk was asked about shootings in America, and he said, "What do you mean, gang violence?" And then he was shot in Utah. Like this is the same denial about this problem with guns in this country and violence, that they like to put it off on some sort of racialized other. No, it is you, Spencer.
Right. And this is proven when you look at per capita crime statistics, violent crime statistics in red areas of the country versus the crime they're constantly talking about in blue cities, because that's code for basically liberal degeneracy and multiculturalism, which is what they're actually at war against. So they are in a cult-like denial about the violence that is in a lot of these red states because of the circulation of weaponry. And we now know a little bit more about the weapon, right? So it was a Mauser is what they were saying, right, Brian?
Yeah, Mauser 30-06.
So, just to clarify what we were saying yesterday, because we didn't have all of the information, it wasn't an assault weapon, but still, we have just way, way, way too many guns. And the kid, from what we've seen, the young man, the killer, was awash in guns his whole life.
Now, somebody in the chat says, in Utah, not one of us means not LDS. It's unclear if this guy was LDS. Now, they say it was his youth pastor. Now, that is not Mormon terminology, but we don't know if that's been sort of translated by the news media. So, I wouldn't make assumptions about what religious background this guy comes from.
It doesn't matter. Just preying on the identity of the shooter coming from a governor, whatever he means, it's insane.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly. I mean, the shell casing talk, all of this stuff. I was praying that it wasn't one of us, that it was an outsider from a foreign country. Like, why?
Because they were looking at this exclusively through the lens of political opportunity and a way to demonize anybody who isn't basically a white man or in their coalition.
100%. Because, there's another perspective. You could say, like, it is heartbreaking when I think about someone from our community.
Yes.
Where we have these values, and it is a reminder that there is no community that is not subject to having people who do bad things. But instead, he's like, I've been hanging on to the notion, wishing, praying that I would not have to recognize that bad things and bad people are like us. And, You can, I mean, this is one of the only times in the entire thing where he almost starts to choke up, where he has to sort of like, it is very difficult for me to admit that there may be some flaw in my.
Do you have the quote tweet of what I sent too in the chat of this tweet? Because I think the point is really good. But we played this yesterday, Nancy Mace, and immediately saying the Democrats own this, and then a reporter asking her, well, what about the shooting of the Minnesota lawmakers, that assassination? What do you have to say anything about that? And she got really, really outraged. And she was like frothing at the mouth about using slurs against trans
Did we
people.
Did you play that yesterday?
I don't want. I mean, to be honest, I don't want to hear her anti-trans slurs. She just wants attention from that. You can know what she said, right? And I think that came out after the show yesterday.
It looks like a T-slur or someone who supports T-slurs.
Exactly. And then, but now that we find out that the shooter was, or the suspect was a white male, we know Charlie Kirk would want us to pray for such an evil and lost individual like Tyler Robinson to find Jesus Christ. We will try to do the same. And the quote tweet from the person, I don't know, I sent that in our chat, but or maybe I didn't. Apologies. Somebody just pointed that out, basically. But
find Jesus. He told his youth pastor in like a day.
Yeah, she was out for blood when it was she thought it was a trans woman, and now it's prayer for this kind of guy. And this is the equivalent of what the cops did with Dylan Roof, taking him out to Burger King or whatever after he shot up that black church.
The Rhodesia fan.
Let's go back to that Trump's appearance today on Fox and Friends, because again, this is another example. This is number 7 of Trump trying to use this moment. And I think ultimately, again, we're not going to know until we know more about Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, as to like what his motivation was. But it is starting to look like the motivations are going to be very inconvenient for the story that the right wing has been trying to tell over the course of the past, whatever it is, 72 hours. And Donald Trump, his project right now is to try and exploit this as much as possible to stoke more violence, more polarization, more intrigue, and more distraction. And here he is, like, he can't help himself. If I ask you, what is the answer to bailing out this dinghy we're in that has a leak? And I say, this bucket, except for this bucket has a leak. What is the answer? Well, here is how Donald Trump answers the question. What is the response to this? What should it be?
Friends and families confirmed it. So is the message to the right, the people that are going to go, I want revenge, not to have revenge? Charlie Kirk would not want revenge.
You want revenge at the voter
That's
box.
where to go.
But unfortunately, we don't have so many ballot boxes because they have mail-in voting, which is totally rigged. Okay. You know, there are a lot of problems. I like ballot boxes where they do mail-in voting all over the place, which is rigged. Anytime, Jimmy Carter, they had a commission. He said, anytime you have mail-in voting, it's a crooked election, okay? And they got to stop. But I say, so I can't really say at the ballot box because in some cases, like California, doesn't have ballot boxes. They send out 38 million ballots.
Well, I think you get the point. What do you say to people who want revenge? Well, you got to get revenge at the ballot box. Of course, there are no ballot boxes, so I don't know. You come up with an answer. I mean, it is so clear, and I don't know if Donald Trump is, how calculating his brain is capable of being right now. But instinctually, he knows that every answer he gives has to push his people to more violence. He knows this. He knows that he has to stoke anger and has to create an enemy within the country. Otherwise, people start scrutinizing him. Otherwise, people start paying attention to the fact that grocery prices are at a 5-year, almost 4-year high. That job numbers are also almost 5 years of being in the number in terms of underperforming. That the economy in many states is already arguably in a recession. And so this is what he has.
We've been saying this, that he's going to increase authoritarian tactics the more that his approval rating drops. What's a little fascinating is that he is clearly struggling. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. He's functioning. He's clearly recovering from whatever happened that kept him out of the public eye for around a week. But there's two sides of that. One is that the amount of chaos that he can stoke is a little bit more limited, it feels like right now, directly. But then we just have President Stephen Miller. And he's basically running the show there. Like, there was so much fan fiction about Trump's Israel policy based on what he was saying on, like, Theo Vaughn or whatever. And people just did not reckon with any of both his track record and the facts of who his longest advisor has been on this front. And only second to his anti-Latino racism, Stephen Miller, is his Zionism and his hatred of Palestinians. And that's a bit of a different topic there, but it is, I think, when you look at the way that policy is being directed right now from the administration, Stephen Miller is across basically every part of it.
All right, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, Adam Friedland, comedian, host of the Adam Friedland Show, will be joining us. You may recall that he recently had an interesting conversation with Congressman Richie Torres. I feel like Torres has gone completely underground since then. Is that just me? Well, we'll ask Adam. Maybe he's tracking him. Maybe
yeah, exactly. Maybe they're friends.
All right, we'll take a quick break right after this. We are back. Sam Seder, Emma Vigland on the Majority Report. It is a pleasure to welcome to the program Adam Friedland, comedian. You're the host of the Adam Friedland Show. Is that correct?
Yeah, barely a comedian at this point, but yes, thank you.
And we appreciate your coming on. I was just remarking, those are nice paintings behind you. Did you paint those?
No, a guy painted it. Yeah.
Okay. I
Guy
just
named
wanted to
Mark.
make sure that it was.
It's nice. Yeah, I've decided if I'm never gonna own a home, I may as well. I'm a hard asset. I'm like a money under the mattress Jew. I had everything in checking until like 6 months ago. I'm very bad at money, but I was like, I can never like look at a stock portfolio or something and like feel pleasure. But I'm like, if you buy something that you look at that's nice, like whatever these wacky folks, I'm like, yeah, that's like it makes me smile.
I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those.
Where's that coming from?
The voice of God, I guess.
Who's that?
We don't know.
Well, that was the the governor of Utah. I'm not sure if you've heard about the news. That's
Ken Bone. Ken Bone. He can't make up his mind.
Right.
Undecided. What's going on?
Yeah, there's been news.
That guy in the red sweater.
Oh yeah.
They got the
Who even is undecided these days? You know, like McCain, Obama. Like, make up your freaking mind.
Exactly. Well, it's you're
What-
just
I think
catching up with that election.
Well, I kind of like. I don't like letting the zeitgeist like. I like wait to see movies and stuff, and so I just checked out Interstellar. What a
You
load
should
of
see the
dreck
Sting.
that was.
That's also a good one. That's percolating right now.
I dream
No
of
one even
rain,
know
yale. The desert. I'm sorry, guys. Barely a comedian, as I said. Yeah, the news really stinks, right?
Yeah, it's a very difficult news time.
It's usually not good news, right? It's usually
not
bad news.
good, but this is like a little bit more intense than normal. But you know what I thought we would talk about a little bit. I don't know if you remember this, but you had a conversation with Richie Torres, who's a congressman from New York, and that caused quite a stir.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It wasn't a stir. I think most people liked it.
Yeah, well, I mean it, but people were, I think, excited. Not
those guys, the Barry Weiss people. They were saying that I was like a hook nosed like a banker, or like they're going old school anti-Semitic.
Well, that's the thing is the Barry Weiss people really took you to task in a way that I found a little bit surprising, because it was as if like you let them down. Have the folks over at Free Press, and now I guess she's CBS News, did they, I mean, had you had some type of like prior relationship with them or something? They seemed very, very disappointed in you.
No.
And then had an issue with like how un-Jewish you were.
They expected more. I don't know what they've been following.
I mean,
they've been following since the breakfast sandwich episode of Cumtown. I don't know. What were they? Yeah, no, I didn't know what it was, the Free Press. But I will say that my father, at first, you know, when I was doing that interview, I mean, I don't know. It's like this is like an argument we've been having in our family for 20 years, and now it's a very public.
About Richie Torres.
Yeah. Is Richie Torres dope or not? Yeah. But my father, my dad watched I thought, you know, it's just like I didn't want to, you know, they're members of your family. It's that were born shortly after the Holocaust, as I explained, and they kind of have been. There's a certain paradigm that they've been operating under most of their lives, and it's. You know, I didn't want to like it's difficult. It's like it's families and stuff. I didn't inform my decision to say what I wanted to say, but I was like, you know, my dad told me his heart rate monitor went off multiple times.
Oh
I was like, I'm not going to kill my dad, which would be.
which would make you Hamas.
But he watched everything. He watched it. Okay, enough with the jokes, Emma. Okay, enough. Is everything a joke? No, actually, my dad watched everything. He watched every response, and he saw that he has I have a bone to pick with you. You said that he said, and the majority report girl said that I'm a radical, and I was like, no, I'll set the record straight. You're a good. He's an architect. In fact, no, but I will say that he saw them calling me a capo, and he.
Well, wait a second. Let's not move on. We'll go to the Barry Weiss thing.
I don't know if I attacked your father.
The press guy called me a capo, and my dad was like, to co-opt language from the Shoah. He's like, these people are hypocrites, and I was like, that's right on, Max Friedland. Yeah, it was like kind of he was like, you don't fuck with my boy, you know.
Well, I mean, it's good that he came to your defense, but we really need to air this out.
Yeah,
with Emma, because
oh my God,
your dad was mad at Emma.
Should we call? My dad got mad at Emma. Yeah.
No.
And I said, but I said, you know, if I ever go on that program, I will tell that young lady that you know he's.
Well, wait a second. Let me just.
Yell at me.
Emma
what do you took issue with? I forgot actually.
Emma,
I don't remember what I say 5 minutes after I say
you said that my family's ISIS, I believe.
No.
Yeah.
Emma was, I think, quoting you as to saying that you were somewhat indoctrinated by your family.
Oh, indoctrinated. That's what he was.
I mean,
I was paraphrasing slightly, but obviously I hit a nerve.
Well, the truth is, listen, I'm making a whole matzo pudding of this. The truth is that in our community, this is something we believe, and we're taught to believe growing up. I mean, that's what my parents were told growing up. I'm doing a goof on Emma right now, but like the truth is that's what's difficult about it is that you know, the assumption after the Holocaust, and as I said in the interview, it's like my family, like they were the proximity was, I mean, my parents were born like 5 years after, and it horrified people, and the assumption was we needed the Jewish state to prevent another Holocaust. I do think, on the other hand, like, let's say if you're creating a state to avoid a genocide, wouldn't this undermine the very premise of the state? You know, I mean, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, I
think it's there. I think it's there.
Yeah, it's here
and there. Actually,
no. I mean, I think it's just it's in general. I was like, I thought I did a bad job at that
with
interview.
Richie Torres
In the room, I felt like I got emotional. Typically, I'm like, I was talking too much. I wasn't really listening. I was just talking, you know. It was just something that kind of happened. It wasn't like deliberate. And typically when I'm doing the interviews, I have like a little bit more of a plan, or, you know, it felt derailed as an interviewer in my mind. And then the funny thing is that it was a deliberation what to do with it, because, like, you know, in the edit, watching like I'm Jewish, it was I was like, oh, I can't watch this guy, and so I said it around to people, and I said this to Sam on the phone. The funny, like, all of my Jewish friends, like, you know, incredibly pro-Palestine Jewish friends, even, were like, I don't know. And then all of my, like, non-Jewish friends were like, this is a watershed moment. This is like, and I think what I found out was they were like, you know, of course, he's being Jewish. He's being a histrionic baby. And
you're also self-hating right now. I mean, you're being extreme. You're.
What do you mean self-hate? What else? Have you met a Jewish person? No.
Well, no, I'm not weighing in anymore.
No. I think that in reality, after the fact, I felt fine. I mean, prior to it, it was a kind of it was the first time I feel like it was like the show was a little bit like stressing me out. But after the fact, I felt good because I saw that people were like, I think it's important, that Jewish people, there's this Cosa Nostra code of silence a lot of the time, even if you're opposed to it, you know, and, you know, I think that we have to show support for Palestine, and also just like on the basis of the anti-Semitism argument, like they're making this argument, and I think you said I was trying to justify anti-Semitism. I was like, no, we have to try and understand what's happening, where it's coming from right now. And it's like there's a Jewish star, and then there's a brutality, and
I'll be sincere for a second,
Yeah.
say, Adam, like the fact that you were so vulnerable, I think was like I had multiple people send it to me, and all women. So I think maybe you being
Really?
vulnerable is a real ladies'
Really?
magnet situation. But
no, they don't respect you, honestly, if you do it. I've tried multiple times.
I guess I just my sensibilities are a lefty, a soy boy type, but
Really?
but no.
Did you just call him a soy boy?
Yeah.
All
What
right.
is
I
that?
mean,
Like that? The soy
Yeah.
face? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That the vulnerability was a good thing, and it made Torres look like a sociopath in every sense of the word. So I think you accomplished a goal, or at least that would have been my goal going into it, and you achieved that.
Yeah, I mean, what I really was trying to do is just show, like, I thought it was interesting, like, his backstory, which I was trying to, like, kind of provide a runway for, which is that he's, like, from extreme poverty and tried to kill himself, and then he made it all the way to Congress. I mean, it's kind of like a lifetime movie. I mean, it's like a really, like, that story itself is like, you listen, Sam, if he let a couple of us run the PR for that, I mean, we could do amazing things with this backstory. I mean, we could do
multiple
incredible things with it. No, but yeah, and then linking that to like kind of like a Hasbara trip, and then like how does one represent the poorest district in America, and then kind of tweet about this other thing 90% of the time. It's just that's putting it in that context. I think was my attempt was to do it to like kind of like tell a story or try to like find out a story. I think in my mind I felt like, oh, this is falling off the rails, but I think that I
Did you have a sense that he was upset during it? Because at the end, there's a moment or two of when you guys are sort of like stepping off the stage.
yeah.
He seems
He thought it was a
disappointed.
setup. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't listen. I'm not like from Paul, like I'm from Cumtown. Like that wasn't like I'm not trying to like maneuver in the freaking DC. Kind of. I think he thought that it was like I was an activist or something. He said he used the term activist a couple times. When I saw that interview with Jonathan Greenblatt. It came out 2 days prior with the Times.
This is the head of the ADL.
Yeah, and they use like lived experience a lot, right? And which is funny because it's like kind of like that's like what do you call it? Intersectionality, kind of like academic like terminology. But like it is kind of like as a move rhetorically kind of interesting because it's like if someone has their lived experience is that they experience anti-Semitism, that is, I guess, how they felt. But like in our minds, we're like, yeah, you saw a Palestinian flag or something. I don't like, but like it's still their lived experience. So I was like, rhetorically, I want to just limit things to like only things that I know personally, and then see. I think that came across.
Yes, I mean, I think that was. I think that's what distinguishes what you did from sort of like a political. Well, I don't want to say political, but a political capital P, I guess. Sort of like actors or so-called objective journalism on some level, was that you were relating it to your lived experience, which I think in some instances for some people I think is suspect at times, but in your instance I think it's it's certainly one that was consistent with my lived experience, at least in this day and age. And he sort of Torres seemed to take offense to that on some level. only because it was inconsistent with his story.
Yeah, I think. I mean, he could have like, if Bill Clinton was, if I was interviewing Bill Clinton, he could have fucking danced on that. If Lindsey Graham was sitting there, like he could have, Bill Clinton would have been like, "Thank you for sharing, and I will put this in my heart." And then I would have been screwed. Then I would have been like, "But you took $1.5 million from AIPAC," and then I would have looked like Columbia, Kafia, that whatever they want to call anyone that's opposed to the war. And but in reality, like I don't know. I was surprised, honestly, that it wasn't. I thought that, yes, as you said before, like I guess the kind of what I wanted to do was have this conversation not in like a internet counterpoint way. I mean, like when he brought up like the Hebron massacre, I could have been like, oh, but like, you know, the fucking Stern gang and the fucking like Baruch Goldstein and like the fucking the King David Hotel. I could have like given my points and stuff like that too. But I'm like, yeah, but like, you know, how does that justify anything that's happened? Of course, there was violence leading up to the formation of the state of Israel. That's correct. But it's like, I mean, what's clear is that like, it's not like, it doesn't, that's where you lose the conversation. I think you just say to someone as an elected official, you know, you come from a certain place. Why is this your thing? And also, why do you, like, are you looking at this? Like, what are you seeing right now?
Well,
And
I think that's
it's more
like
effective, maybe.
It was also just like what underscored when you made it about your like lived experience, and it was less of a politic-y with a capital P interview. It just made him trying to preach anti-Semitism to you like so farce, like such a farce, and so embarrassing for him that I don't know how he kept trying to go back to that well. Like, were you surprised that he didn't even acknowledge the history of like your family in the Holocaust or anything like that? It just felt like
it's kind
he
of a
just
lack
pushed
of,
past it.
Isn't it? It's more of a lack of political instincts, really. I mean, like,
well,
yeah, I mean, it's he just like that's not like a good. You look like, I mean, politicians are supposed to be like razzle dazzle, right? Like, I think it's kind of like it was that was odd to me, right? Like,
I think
like,
the thing about Torres,
you know, like, you
I think
like,
I think the thing about Torres is like I can say that he blocked me before I barely even knew who he was, and I think he has never put himself in a situation where his perspective on this particular topic has ever been questioned. I mean, so when we talk about political instincts, how did he end up on your show?
Oh, good question.
I think I've been trying to think. I don't know. I think he's probably, you know, the interviews are pretty funny, even if I disagree with someone. Like the Anthony Weiner one was kind of funny.
It was hilarious.
But like, obviously, I was like, yeah, but you did like, you should go to jail for something involving a minor, you know, like just like I still push back, but somehow it's still kind of funny. And I think that maybe, I don't know if I what the fuck do I know about, can I curse on, are we on the terrestrial? Okay. I mean, if I had to guess,
Not
maybe
anymore.
His comms person liked the show, I think. And then probably like
is that person still
the Bronx,
there in employ?
Or you're just riding this Jon Stewart, new millennial Jon Stewart thing, and like he thought it sounded buzzy. And
I don't know.
How long can you milk that, buddy?
Well, the thing that would make sense in my mind, but what do I know is that maybe like he doesn't want to get AOC'd, and the Bronx like swung heavy in the last general, and maybe he feels like he wants to like kind of pivot that, because I think that now he's saying like Zoran shouldn't lose his citizenship. Like he's like, I'm Martin Luther King, and this is my opinion. You know, I think that like, you know, they're freaking politicians. They're like, you know, they see internal polling and they do whatever the fuck. You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'm just discovering this crap as well. There were 2 articles, and now I'm fucking Walter Cronkite. I mean, like, what the hell do I know about any of this shit? It's kind of ridiculous. Oh, sorry. I have to get
Do you have a landline?
Is it, what's
No,
is-
the door is here.
Go get the door.
dog
Invite them
walker's
in.
here. I was
Oh,
really
okay.
cooking on that. Sorry.
Yeah.
No dead
Oh
air.
no. Let's just do his. Let's just do his.
All right. Sorry. I have a dog.
What
You
a
should
good
tell
person.
those ladies that liked that I cried that I also have a dog.
I'll pass that along.
I have a fiance too, so tell them that they no.
I,
I have a dog named Isis. Actually, is an unfortunate name.
Ice.
Isis.
Oh, Isis. Okay.
Yeah. But
Well,
now
like the
the reason I
goddess?
adopted her, and I think it's a pretty name. But I can't be like at the dog park, like I'm training with Isis right now. So
Have
we
you
call
thought
her
of
Isis.
renaming it Hamas or?
I didn't name it Isis.
Okay.
What am I? What am I like? Badass. My dog's named. Actually, I named her Isel. No, I mean, what do I? The thing is, the truth about the whole thing is like it was not very deliberate. It was kind of just something that happened, and after the fact, I kind of felt like I did a terrible job, and it was really nauseating to edit. But I'm really glad it resonated.
I have to say, I think partly coincidentally, but also I think that interview was a pivot point because in addition to sort of like all the polling that just came out at that time that I think like indicated the Democratic Party in terms of the voters was moving in a different direction. And it became, I think, a lot clearer to like another layer of the concentric circle of people that Israel had no interest whatsoever in ending this assault on Gaza and was starving people to death. But in terms of like
interview, you think?
Well, I think the interview, I don't think but I think it was one more element because within the weeks since your interview, there's been multiple Democratic Congresspeople, sort of like backbenchery types and that have said, I'm not taking AIPAC money because I think there is a certain momentum where the Democrat, and it's very, very slow, far slower than it should be in a both democratic and just world. But where there are certain, like Democrats are starting to realize, like my cost benefit analysis here is starting to shift. And I think like the Richie Torres moment was one where they're like, oh, geez, if Torres can't even justify himself in this context, how am I going to go on to any like outlet and justify this context when he's like the guy who's been like literally swimming in these waters? I mean, he was sent to Michigan as sort of, some type of representative of, I guess, I don't know, the Bronx as to why Palestinian people should not be so concerned about what's going on with this genocide. I mean, it was sort of fascinatingly, but he got away with it, right? I mean, he got away with it. And this is where him getting away with being able to espouse this stuff without any pushback ended. And he, I think, was an avatar. He was certainly an avatar for when you look at like Bill Ackman looking for someone to run against.
Who's that?
He's the billionaire.
Big funder, yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Herbalife.
out
He's like Twitter.
He's always on Twitter.
No, he's on Twitter all the time. But he was like
he's
trying
a
to get
hedge
Richie
fund.
Torres to run for mayor. It was
against
all
Zoran.
good.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll fund you. And I mean, Torres has been heralded as the next generation of leadership of the Democratic Party. I mean, I'm not making this up.
I stopped it.
Yes.
He's been
I don't know,
quiet.
He's been people really
basketball.
know who he is? I think maybe Twitter. I saw that his tweets
Well,
and
not-
people getting mad at his tweets, but I don't think is he that famous? You think?
No. But within, it's
I
like
don't really know anything.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm like you know of comedians that your average person doesn't, but you perceive that you know how big they are within the context of the industry
Yeah.
or how they're being promoted. Torres was one of those people. He was the guy who just like won the awards at Just for Laughs, and
He's a
got
comics
signed.
comic.
Yes,
Yeah. He's a back of the room kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a back of the room guy.
Let me tell you, there's this guy Heshi Teshowitz. He's one for us. The audience, he bombs every show, but in the back of the room, we're dying.
Well, I think a lot of those guys said he's not as funny as he was 6 weeks ago.
Torres used to be hilarious, but
Torres used to be very, very funny.
I mean, I think that like 6% of Democrats support like what the operation in Gaza right now. Is that right?
It's 8, but yeah,
It's 8.
I mean,
classic capo move.
maybe the
6.
the problem is more that the Democratic Party is just a completely inept organization. I don't like
basically.
Like why sending him to Michigan? Like I don't know. Like the fact that they're now kind of disavowing, kind of taking donations from something that's supported by 8% of their constituency is like I don't know. I like. And beyond that, like with my point about like his response, I mean, like like if he did an "I feel your pain," I would have been probably cooked in retrospect. I mean, I wasn't viewing it as a debate at that point. I was kind of just telling him as first of all that a lot more people hate Jewish people now, and it's coming from the right predominantly. Like we saw Charlottesville happen before this. We didn't see like I don't know, like I've never been like I live in New York City. Have you like Sam, have you ever had a problem with a radical Islamic fundamental like it's just like they were saying that this is during the beyond that the Democratic Party decided to just like tell this guy who's basically a rapper that went to Bowdoin that he's Osama bin Laden during the primary, and now like his biggest rival for mayor, right? Like Zoran, he's just a regular kind of like just upper middle class kid, right? And then like they're like, you are at Tora Bora right now. The Marines are firing on, like they darkened his skin, and then now that he won the primary, the party hasn't even coalesced around him. Like the Democratic Party is like. It doesn't look good. Like it's kind of like I think it's kind of if I had to guess, probably gotten people to like kind of give up. I mean, they're they kind of, what do they represent at this point? And if it's from Adam Friedland's Richie Torres interview that they've decided that, oh, this is bad for us, like this is a litmus test of the midterm, like that's even worse for them.
I won't give you too much credit. I'll pull back
I hope
and
not.
I will not. I will give you less credit now because they're
I
also
pooped my pants.
there you go.
Podcast.
I've heard about this.
Well,
I talk about it a lot.
There was a poll that came out of New Yorkers, New York Times Siena earlier this week. Plus 18.
Am I gonna have to run?
Well, I was
You're
just
gonna
going to
have
say
for Palestinian support. It wasn't you specifically, but you're set up. The funniest outcome of this would be you primarying Richie Torres.
No, I'm no carpetbagger. I'm not gonna.
who would you primary? Are you contemplating? Is
Chelsea,
it Hakeem Jeffries
My old
or
friend Chelsea. To the Jerry Nadler seat.
all right.
Chelsea versus right. Okay, gotcha. Reply guy
my
for
old
Chelsea.
pal
Clinton.
Chelsea.
And are you?
That's why I went on Michael Brooks' show when I got in trouble with Chelsea 8 years ago.
Oh, is that and did that help?
Did it help me?
Did your conversation with Michael help your situation with Chelsea Clinton? I find that hard to believe.
No, I saw he showed me solidarity as another Jewish man in America. That was the kind of funny tweet.
Can you remind us of the tweet? I feel like it had something to do with being ugly.
Yeah, I was mean.
It was.
But
It
was
was.
relatedly, it was during Ilhan Omar was getting attacked by everyone.
Yes.
Because she did. It's all about the Benjamins, and I'm like, first of all, the guy's name is Benjamin Netanyahu. Like, second of all, like, yes, are they claiming that like people don't, our lobbying organization doesn't try to influence policy? Like, is that like an anti-Semitic thing to say?
Well,
I mean, it
Thomas
certainly-
Friedman had basically said the exact same thing that Ilhan
I mean, like,
Omar
even
had.
AOC was like, I don't want to call you out. I want to call you in. Everyone was like piling on Ilhan Omar, and I got mad. And
Yep.
Chelsea Clinton was like telling her about the tropes of that Ilhan was using in the notorious BIG reference tweet. Like, and so then I was just like, she's not. I didn't even.
You said Chelsea Clinton isn't even Jewish. She's just ugly. Okay, so there you go.
But okay, fine. But like, we self-deprecate. We say that we're ugly. Okay. And
Yes,
Chelsea's
that was.
beautiful.
We should also say, it was not
Obviously, she's
just.
beautiful.
It was not just like inappropriately objectifying of Chelsea Clinton, but it was also
not nice. It wasn't
vaguely
nice. I
anti-Semitic.
What do you mean anti-Semitic? What, Mel Brooks can't dress up in a fucking Nazi uniform? That's the only thing we're allowed to joke about. Of course we. Wait.
Your dad, when your dad is reminded of that tweet, he's going to be upset.
You've forgotten your roots in the comedy clubs. The basis of our humor is self-deprecation.
Self-deprecation. That's correct. Yes,
yeah, of course. And then my mother, my analyst, and my analyst is Benjamin Netanyahu, and I don't know. I'm too worked up right now to defend this. I can't believe Sam would forget from whence he came.
Well,
Now
listen,
that you're a
I've had my experience.
You're on Air
of
America.
Tweets
doing
that
whatever
were
the hell.
not necessarily long-term successful. For me.
Anyway, it was a mean joke, and then I got in trouble. Everyone,
Well, she responded. She responded.
She quote tweeted me. She said, "But then my avatar is Chris Bosch from the Raptors. Blow up. Click on my avatar." So then all these people were like, "Chelsea's not ugly. You're ugly," and it was the basketball player Chris Bosch. So he was catching shrapnel. Yeah, the former power forward for the Heat and Raptors, Chris Bosch. But so people were calling him ugly. It turned into a whole thing, and then
because people didn't know who you were.
Got mad at me. Geraldo was like you're a fucking prick, and I was like, you're one of my heroes. Sandra Bernhardt's like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Like, anyway, I apologize to Chelsea, and I would never primary you in a million years.
And I hope you took her lesson on not engaging in anti-Semitic tropes. So
we're the only ones allowed to. Okay, listen. Okay, it's our thing. It's our thing. Have you seen?
I mean, it's true.
Have you seen To Be or Not to Be the Lubitsch film? We've been doing this for years.
It's true. I mean,
I don't know why that was my reference. It was really douchebaggy reference, but. We're allowed.
Brian knows. Brian knows what you're talking about.
Listen, we've done amazing things in this country, guys.
Like
those
AI.
guys over there. Those guys over there. Show me one good romantic comedy they've done over there. They're just. They haven't done one. We've done an incredible. We invented a media for these people.
I thouth you meant we as Americans. I forgot.
Are we live? Can this be?
Yes, we're live. Yes.
No. I'm goofing around, guys.
Well, I'm sorry that your father was offended. I hope we can reconcile.
You brought us closer together.
That's good.
No, my dad was watching everything, and then eventually he came across those the Barry Weiss people, and he remembered that he's like that's my boy. He's like, you can't. And it's lovely.
Only I can call him a capo. It's
What?
that type of thing. Only I can call him a capo.
Have you seen? Of course. What do you mean? We call each other that every day.
Yes, but nobody else can. Yes,
it's a Jewish family. It's normal. No, but the tweet said. Did you see the tweet that the guy did? He said it is the oldest.
Is this the one? Is
it the Max Nordo one? Perhaps
There's not just one, buddy. There's a couple.
I think
the one I saw, the guy said it was the oldest, perhaps second oldest profession
After I assumed prostitution.
Wait, being a comedian?
No, being a capo. And I was like, is it?
Wait,
And I was
what?
like, it was a bizarre way to say it.
Older than like farming?
And why is
I think
prostitution on
going-
your mind?
I think going to find food is probably the oldest profession.
Probably.
And then the second oldest is capo. Ashanda for the Goyim.
That's impressive. Like he skipped all of those professions in there.
No, the truth is, if anything, the ultimate conclusion of Come Town wasn't to make me a public intellectual. It was to inspire Jewish people to be anti-Semitic to me, which I think is this is the master stroke of our entire project. Is that we found a way? Yeah,
Here
this
it
one.
is.
From
The
Barry
role-
Weiss's The Free Press now.
Yeah, the role Friedland is playing is that of the capo, the Jew articulating and or acting out the wishes, conscious or unconscious, of the Gentile majority. Now, I have to say, this is
Then I'm tap dancing.
well, this is also a pretty serious indictment of the Gentile majority in this country, that you're supposedly like, this guy's, that part of it, aside from the fact that he's calling you a capo,
Yeah.
also speaks to the incredible paranoia that
Yes.
the Gentile majority is
They like Israel better than us.
yeah, no kidding. He should look into Kufi. This is really the world's oldest or second. Literally the old.
Because I'm thinking about prostitution for some reason.
Which is
Yeah, so
interesting.
he brings in prostitution, and then I replied, "It's the only engagement I've done in the after the thing came out." But I replied, I was like, "Listen, sir." Oh yeah. Can you read that, Sam, for me?
Wait,
Hey, dude, it's hurtful to be called that word, but I'm confused. Is it the oldest job or second, or are you calling me some sort of slut? Genuinely confused. Also, why do Zionists have to make everything the oldest or most ancient thing ever to make their point? It feels
Listen.
like a trope.
Listen, the Emperor Hadrian expelled us in the year 175 AD, and we finally made it back.
I wonder if he's if who like
What's the guy's name? This guy. It's a funny last name too.
Peter
Savodnik.
I wonder if he's thinking about. I wonder if he's
thought it was-
thinking about like.
I thought it.
Is he thinking about Judas?
I read that wrong.
Like I can't quite figure out like where, like what, who are the ones, who were the capos prior to World War II? Like in what, like what,
The
like
Philistines?
Capos?
no, yeah, I'm trying to think like what example of.
Oh, come on. So let's be real. It's ancient. It's from the cave.
So
I'm trying to think of
cavemen.
in what like context, like
The capo, he invented the wheel and the fire and the. It's
he
just
saying
one of the
Judas?
most moronic things to say.
because Judas was Jewish and turned in, but Jesus was just a rabbi to us.
Judas was Judas helped Pontius Pilate, so he was a capo or no? Is that what you're asking?
I mean, it seems like that would be the model because I'm trying to think in history of
The
where
capo.
else we saw, a capos fulfill the wishes of the Gentile majority.
There was probably like a foreman on the site of the pyramids. He was probably the Jewish foreman, and he's like, guys, we
A
need
couple of these guys are slacking off.
Yeah, like
And-
listen, we got to get back to work for the Pharaoh. Listen, I don't know. It's one of the most moronic things
You don't
I've ever
deserve your
seen.
mush today.
I really
Somebody's
didn't realize
not getting
that
their
was,
full portion of a mush. So
I've been saying that guy's last name for about 2 weeks now, and it's.
what did you think it was?
I mean, you could guess what I thought his name.
No, we can't.
Yes, I can.
Sabatik.
Okay, there we go.
I'm illiterate. I don't understand why I'm the new Martin
Do you
Luther King of
realize-
millennials.
Do you realize
I
that
do not
you
do-
have that you have absorbed or internalized a millennia of hate? Did you plot this?
Everything is so old and ancient.
A millennia of hate you have internalized. But why
I've
just a
internalized
millennia?
it.
I don't even understand this guy's. Why a millennia? Why not 2 millennia?
Oh,
I mean, the Jewish calendar is over 5,500 years
Islam
old.
is 1,000 years old, right?
Well, you don't think we got
I'm
any
not
Christian
counting.
hate? I mean, or
He's not that worried about
or
that.
Roman
the
hate.
Roman historian that converted from Judaism. That guy might be a capo. What's his name? Someone look it up, computer guys. Jamie, look that up. Jamie. What do we get?
Flavius Josephus.
Yeah, Josephus, Flavius. Yeah. He was Jewish and then he became and half of it's not true. So that's how you know he's Jewish.
And what about just Paul?
Saul.
Well, Paul. I mean, yes, Saul to Paul.
Saul to Paul.
I mean,
That's
but-
a capo.
Yeah, but that was over a millennium ago. That's my point. It's like I just don't understand what his references are.
I don't know.
You've only absorbed a millennium of hate. Some people may have absorbed like 3 millennium of hate, so I guess you're ahead of the game.
So
in
he's
that
saying
respect.
every job prior to 1936 didn't exist except for sex worker.
Not for Jews. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
you think that it was the first job that we got?
Yeah, that's.
What about money lender? Oh my gosh. What about freezing cold and trying not to get your head cut off by a Cossack when he gets drunk?
Exactly. There's
That
a
used
whole...
to be my guys' jobs. Like, well, God, the Cossacks are coming.
You're the one to tell everybody.
Oh no, with these guys again.
Conservative mind virus says, "How dare you dead name Paul the Apostle?" I'm sorry.
Not
Who's
very
that?
woke.
He sounds scary, that guy. Mind virus.
Conservative mind virus.
So this Ken Bone guy, well, who do you think he's gonna go with? I remember Ken Bone yesterday. I couldn't stop laughing. I don't know why.
God.
Remember
Yes.
his big old sweater?
Yeah, big red sweater.
We used to live in a nice place. Remember how nice
Exactly.
things were? It's so not nice anymore.
Yeah. No one cares about Ken Bone anymore.
I was
Ken
saying
Bone's
this
probably
the other day.
radicalized.
This is really lived out. I started watching West Wing after Trump won the second time.
What?
And yeah, because I just want to remember how it was just nice, right?
That time of naivete.
All the problems were like, should gay guys go to the army? Should should kids wear school uniforms? That was like, and they're like screaming at each other. It's like, it's so quaint.
And
It's, like,
everything is
lovely.
solved by the
speech.
liberal president just like giving the right wing groups a talking down.
Dude, Jeb Bartlett would cut this crap out. I'll tell you that
Oh yeah.
in 5 seconds.
It would be over. So who's next? Like, which you're going to do like a whole array of politicians that you're going to be interviewing?
Yeah, we
now?
didn't even get to
I've
your
had
Sarah Jessica
some
Parker
politicians-
interview,
Oh,
which I really enjoyed. Okay.
The dog walker's back. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a mess today.
Go ahead.
Okay.
How many times is the dog walker? That's it. That's
mean,
the
we've
length
had-
of the dog walk?
It's coming and going, I think.
I'm
Sounds like
sorry,
you went
guys.
college.
But wait a second. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Your dog walker just takes your dog on like a 10-minute walk?
It's called a dog walker. Yeah.
That's it? Shouldn't it go longer?
You want me to complain to this working person from an app?
It's the oldest profession.
It's the third oldest.
Third
after
oldest
capo
profession.
And selling yourself for sex. Anyway, what were we talking about? Ken Bone. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get back to Ken Bone. I
You
mean,
want to talk about the Sarah
not really. I just was.
Oh,
She
who's
seems
next?
lovely.
Yeah, it's open. It's okay. Thank you. Should I complain or no?
But yeah,
Okay, thank you.
that was awful short.
Oh yeah. You could just pop it down there.
That was awful short.
Come on. I thought you were socialists. It's from
It's
the.
still, I'm a
gig
sewer
economy.
socialist. I want the dog walked a little bit longer than that.
Sam, do you complain at restaurants? I've never complained once, even if it's
No.
doo-doo cheeks, the food.
No.
If it tastes like poop, I'm like, fine, it's great.
No, I'm okay.
How's your meal? I'm like, oh.
Have you ever given anything except 5 stars or on like an Uber rating? If it's a
never.
bad ride, I just don't rank.
If someone's rude, I tip more just to teach them a lesson.
There you go.
Yeah, they'll
About being mean to me.
Don't you feel bad now?
Yeah. Don't you feel bad that you didn't like me? Because I'm great. Who's next? Next week, we have a beloved Hollywood actor, and then we have some really cool we have a diversity of a couple more political guests. I wasn't sure if this Torres thing would just screw us. But yeah, no. I mean,
have you found people? I mean, I would imagine
we have another one booked, and we have another one in the can that we haven't released yet. I mean, these guys, I listen.
Did you ever hear back from the Torres people after that? Like, we'd love to do it again or something like that? Or
Yeah, they said an edible arrangement. No, I didn't hear. I didn't hear back from them after that. Yeah. But genuinely, like I've really enjoyed doing the show. I just want to get better at interviews. I mean, and I'm very lucky I get to do it. I mean, I don't know. I'm like kind of the luckiest bastard in the world. Somehow out of 2 articles come out that say that I know how to read, and now everyone thinks that I'm freaking Noam Chomsky or something. I'm gonna let everyone down in such an epic way, and I'll have to move to like Appalachia, get extensive plastic surgery, probably become
you could restart. You probably even do better.
I don't know better.
Repackage, rebrand, more Heartland.
I don't know. I don't think anyone wants me at all. But no, I mean, in reality, like, yeah, we have some really cool ones. The thing is like, like I don't really know. Like I try to not. I don't really like. The internet used to be funny. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
There used to be like funny stuff to look at, and it's just not fun. There's no funny stuff anymore. So it's like we have like social media people that post the stuff, and like I'm not like really too engaged. I mean, I look like from time to time. I've been looking this week, obviously, but like, it's so like when I'm interviewing someone that's like kind of associated with that world. The cool thing is like in the research process, I get to learn about it, and then I get to kind of interact with it in kind of as an outsider a lot of the time, and I think that kind of serves me well, and like like when I had that Destiny on the show, I didn't even know that arguments were like a thing you could be famous for.
You had no idea of debate bro culture or anything like that.
Well, it's just like, but in reality, that's kind of what the internet is. It's just everyone's having an argument all day long. So, I mean, in a simple sense, if I could do something that's nice, that's kind of makes people feel nice and they laugh a little bit, I don't know. If my parents could watch it, and like it's not smut like the stuff I used to peddle in, that's all right. So in reality, like that's my only concern is like I finish one episode, then I start working on the next one. It's like you can't stay productive if you're kind of just considering anything outside of that. So,
well, we're going to put a link. You are the luckiest capo in the world.
Come on, dude.
I was just reading off an I am. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you in any way.
Sam, I was going to say you're one of my heroes. So
as one of the OG capos, I appreciate that.
It's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
You're one of the first capos?
We started the profession.
It's very ancient.
I'm that old.
Yes. Sam's carrying around millennias and millennias of
Does a capo have a pimp? Kind of like the other profession?
Well, I mean, we have an agency.
Who is yours? Mitzi Shore?
Exactly.
That's a little back of the room action right there.
That's nice.
Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure.
We're going to put a link to this Adam Friedland show.
Thank you.
And it's available on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. The Adam Friedland Show. We just released merchandise shortly after my civil rights moment, which is maybe in bad taste.
That's fantastic.
I like realized when I announced it, I was like, this is not like I was like made the Jews look like human again, and then now I make. No.
Did you see? Did you
What?
see the Shmuley Botek post?
Yeah, I
Oh
did.
my God.
Shmuley Boteach, the Shalom
Yes.
in the home.
Yes.
Where is he? He's like wears T-shirts and stuff now. He's not like a black hat anymore.
He posted about Charlie Kirk and literally had his GoFundMe in the link.
My dad said that they were fundraising off of the Torres episode. They're not cutting me in on any of that.
No, this is amazing. I mean, this is amazing.
He says, I've spoken for my friend many times.
For his protection?
Yes, help protect Rabbi Shmuley, third
But doesn't he
person.
live in Israel?
It's the safest place in the
I
world.
thought he lived in New Jersey, but I have no idea. I don't.
I thought
wanna
he was
certainly wanna
L.A.
go.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea.
How's his? Doesn't he have a sex toy business with his daughter? Isn't
Come
that
on,
weird?
it's a good business. Come on, we're not allowed to have business. What's the problem? What? He's just like that doesn't mean his daughter and him do it. What?
Sorry, I don't know what I was.
Mr.
Came over
McDonald's
me.
has McDonald's 3 meals a day. Come on, it's just that you own a business. Sometimes Rabbi Shmuley has his.
I'm so sorry.
That is an age-old trope. Anyway,
I'm glad we went long enough for you to regain the moral high ground.
Thank you.
Adam
I'm
Friedland,
in fact the good one.
we're going to
Emma. I'm
Yes.
gonna make things right with Max right now. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna say,
Please,
it's
please
Squash.
do. Give him
It's
my
Squash.
love.
next time maybe we need to have your dad on so that we can like end
You'd
this
love
whole
him.
thing.
He's the man. He's my best friend. Yeah, I love him. Take care, guys.
All right,
Thanks a lot.
Later, Adam.
All right, bye.
All right, folks. I guess we doing a freebie Friday? No, we don't need to do that.
It's 2:02.
So we do a half hour.
After the fun
Come
half song.
on, come on.
After the fun half song, it's 25 minutes.
Matt doesn't want to edit the thing.
No, I know. I just want to give our stuff away for free.
All right, we'll do that. The freebie Friday.
Become members, folks.
Become members. Join themajorityreport.com and find out what you're missing. It's just 30 minutes of the same thing that you had for 2 hours. Also, Just
Really
Coffee.
quick. Yeah, I'll be right back.
JustCoffee.
No break, so I must take one break.
Yeah, there you go.
Really quick.
Dave from Jamaica. A man can't own a sex shop with his daughter. What a world. Militant Apathy, watching the latest episode of Alien Earth and realized that is what a libertarian paradise looks like. Trillionaires running everything from private islands with their own police forces, killing hundreds of thousands with petty decision. Tater Tot. My sister is headed to the West Bank this week with a group that is going to be doing protective presence work as a deterrence from settler violence. She's an incredible person, activist, Columbia SEPA graduate, and I hope she stays for the next couple of months. If she wants to send us any dispatches from there, send us an email at majorityreporters@gmail.com. And we should also mention that I don't think I'm talking out of school. Infinite Jazz, I think, is planning a similar trip, and hopefully we'll
He's already done it once.
it's a good time to sign up for that Substack, incidentally. Infinite Jazz Substack. JR in Philly. I hope you guys focus on Patel's Valhalla comment. I mean, I don't, it was.
I mean,
it's-
elaborate. It was a weird comment. Yeah.
Tough guy
Yeah.
talk. I mean,
as if they're like, fellow Vikings.
Is it really? I think they're not going to like throw Christianity overboard for Vikingism. I don't know how much it.
Sort of.
it's also lame bro shit. I don't know.
They're just drag kings or whatever.
Yeah, they're
pretending
losers.
to be men.
I don't think it's maybe I'm wrong. If people can elaborate the significance of that better, but
I'd say there's more issues with Kash Patel than that.
yeah.
Militant apathy. I think some of this right-wing reaction comes from them actually seeing him die. Once you have to watch a person die violently, it puts you in a victim's POV. It becomes real. So for the first time, these pro-gun sociopaths have to come to grips with their own mortality.
Yep, they see themselves in the person that died as opposed to just, who gives a fuck, some kids.
It was really disturbing.
It's horrible. But again, like I keep pointing out, every time you hear like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids have been killed in schools in the exact same way.
In fact, they're aware the terror that they feel in the moments before. I can't even imagine being a little kid in a school knowing that in any scenario, obviously, but a child who has less emotional and intelligence growth, and knowing that there is a gunman in the school starting to hunt people down, and it just
and there's all this momentum toward getting phones out of school. Well, better figure out a way to make sure that they don't need to call their parents during a school shooting.
New Jersey mailman. Can you please tell Adam my friends and I are still huge cumboys. We still listen to clips every day.
I will admit I've said this before, but I love Savi's World. I listen all the time. I'm a big fan, and I had heard good things about Cumtown, but I didn't really look into it because the name was so disgusting. I just was like, this can't be for me. But maybe
a little bit of a guy's podcast.
A little bit.
No offense at the women who have plenty.
I have a lot
listen
of guy
to it.
interests though, right? Like
Yeah.
sports and stuff. So maybe I would like it if I went back, but maybe not.
Listen to the early episodes where they use the full 40-second Home Improvement theme song as their intro music.
Until they tried to monetize, and then they realized they had a
Once they
problem.
started making money, they're like, we need to drop this.
Number 13, it's wild being African American. We have almost always been hated by the leaders of the nation, whether we do something or nothing. And that hate is a culture, yet somehow you just keep functioning, and then you're described as lazy anyway. Hope more white people keep that in mind during times like these. Several HBCUs got sent threats yesterday because of white-on-white violence.
Mm-hmm. I know. We read that on air. Someone I IM'd in about that.
Well, that's the big joke about the entire sort of gun movement in this country is that it's, in its own words, against tyranny or whatever. Rand Paul tweeting out guns are for shooting at the government when it becomes tyrannical. But actually what it's about is paranoia about either leftists or brown people.
Cole from Ohio, he was an internet brain-rotted nihilist. Dark Soul. The Valhalla comments is most of that stuff like Nordic runes is just white supremacy. But Kash is the type of moron who doesn't know that and thinks it's Assassin's Creed or something.
Yeah, that's what I think.
He might know it. Okay.
I don't think Kash Patel is doing Nordic white supremacy.
I'm pretty sure he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's
Blaze Chadwell. As a resident of St. Paul, Minnesota, I always remembered the weekend of the George Floyd uprisings when our mayor made a public statement that most of the protesters who were arrested were from out of town. When media disputed this claim with evidence showing that they were mostly locals, the mayor apologized and said he was just relaying what police told him. 4 days after Minnesota PD tried to cover up a murder, and the mayor is still taking the police at face value. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's do this clip. We got a couple of clips here that I wanted to get to. This today from Axios. Virtually all major grocery categories are now more expensive than they were a year ago. some substantially so. Whatever growth the administration has said it's coming from trade and industrial policy, nothing is more vivid to households than what they pay to feed themselves. The food at home component of the consumer price index rose 0.6% in August from July. This was the biggest month-over-month increase since August of 2022. The tail end of a huge year of a huge monthly increases in grocery prices. Again, remember, by August of 2022, what was happening is that people were both exploiting COVID, but also demand starts going up. And as the economy comes out of sort of like the COVID slump, as it were. And yet, people had shut down production. The trade barriers, tariffs, are raising input costs from fertilizer to machinery to transportation that ripple through food prices. So coffee is up almost 21% year over year. That's just strictly tariff. Because, and perhaps other input prices, inputs, in terms of getting it to the market. But we tariff the hell out of coffee now. Uncooked beefsteaks are up 16.6% year over year with a 3.3 monthly butt. Fruits and vegetables were up 2.3% year over year. Apples rose 9.6% and bananas 6.6%. The bananas are exclusively tariffs. I imagine the apples are a function of machinery. But here is Secretary Commerce Howard Lutnick, who's here to tell you that's not inflation. That's just rising prices. Go ahead.
Tariffs are not inflation. It is outrageous that people think tariffs are inflation. Remember, what inflation means is I'm going to go buy this tie, and I know the tie is going to cost $30. But next year, I think the tie is going to cost $33. And the year after, it's going to cost $36. So I have in my head 10% inflation, right? If this tie is made in Italy and it's going to cost $31.50 now, so what? It's not going to change next year, the year after, the year after. And if I want to buy an American tie, I can buy an American tie.
Okay,
That's
pause it
not
for a
inflation.
second. First off, I don't know off the top of my head what the tariffs are on Italy, but 10% is the minimum. So they're going to cost $33. And I guess if you are the Commerce Secretary, you believe like this is a one-time deal. They're always going to be $33 now. It only goes up 10%. A, I don't care because I'm incredibly wealthy and I wear my tie. But I also know this is a one-time charge. Now, most people, they don't know if it's going to keep rising. I mean, really, we don't know because the tariffs keep going on and off. But the idea that this is not inflation, this is like Biden administration level of pedantry.
Yeah, it's like basically saying, a gunshot wound could kill you, but I just stabbed you. I mean, that's not murder or whatever. It doesn't necessarily matter to the consumer why prices are going up or what the exact reason is. You are raising prices actually deliberately outside of like just market forces that were doing it or that traditionally like inflation is meant to indicate that it's just the market forces kind of doing that.
I would also add that like if you think corporations see that there is no elasticity to their people's tie buying, oh, they pay $33. Well, if they were okay with this 10% bump, let's do another 10% bump next year. There's, like we saw during COVID that just the idea that something could be inflationary encouraged corporations to make everything inflationary. because the only difference is that what they ended up doing was putting the money into their pockets.
And meat processors, which is affecting the food prices, they were some of the worst offenders of that. Of the greedflation stuff, taking home record profits while they kept blaming naturally occurring inflation on price increases.
Now, so what? It's not going to change next year, the year after, the year after. And if I want to buy an American tie, I can buy an American tie. That's not inflation. And what everybody's going to learn is this is not inflation. You have energy prices down, and he's going to keep them down as we get lower and lower of drill, baby, drill. That's a big number. Right? That's driving down the cost of all of us in our pocketbooks. Groceries are down. I'm telling you, inflation is not part of our future.
You concerned about?
He's lying. I mean, there he's just like in the first half, he's just being sort of trying to play with semantics. Here's a newsflash: people don't care about inflation. They care about rising prices.
Exactly.
And so you can call it whatever you want to call it. Rising prices are rising prices. But he's lying about grocery prices.
And it's one thing if prices are rising and wages are rising in a similar manner, but that is not the case. It wasn't the case under Biden, and it's certainly because it was greedflation, especially in the back half of his term. And it's certainly not going to be the case with tariffs, especially because these companies are really directly incentivized and need to pass off these prices on to consumers.
It's also telling that he uses a tie as an example of something that you buy all the time.
That's what I was thinking.
Because for most people, people buy ties in this is almost like a capital expenditure. Like you buy a tie or two ties or maybe even 4 ties, assuming if you're a year.
Right.
It's not something that you do week in, week out. And I'll also say that in terms of his example, because the tie for him is sort of casual, and he's not paying $30 for his ties. I can also assure you of that.
Oh, sure.
But the existence of American-made ties in the vast amount of examples of where we're seeing inflation, there is no alternative option because these are all inputs on the manufacturing of stuff, even in the United States. So there is no version of what he's talking about. I mean, if they had only tariffed ties, maybe he'd be right, but they've tariffed the machinery that makes ties.
20% on all Italian goods.
So it's the tie is actually $36 now.
I mean, it reminds me of Trump using dolls. Little Cindy's gonna get only $3 instead of 200 or whatever he was saying for Christmas. That's not what the biggest concern is here. Yes, it's gonna hurt people and they're gonna hit really badly, like all of the tariffs on China affecting toys around holiday time. But it's the day-to-day stuff. I mean, what are they doing about rent? What are they doing about, and food prices? People need food to eat. You can't just buy 2 hamburgers a year, like 2 ties a year to sustain yourself.
What they're doing about rent is harassing the population of people that build housing.
All right, what else do we got? Do we got anything else? What's that? Oh, no, we should do this Chuck Schumer thing because this is important. We will talk more about this going forward, but it has been lost in the news. Yesterday, Republicans triggered the nuclear option to change the rules of the Senate that is going to allow them to speed up confirmation of Trump's nominees for the executive branch. The vote was 53-45. And didn't Thune insist they were not going to do this? I mean, I know.
I would expect better from them.
But it's going to allow the Senate to confirm an unlimited number of nominees in one vote, rather than do each one individually. The rule applies to executive branch nominees subject to 2 hours of Senate debate, including sub-cabinet picks and ambassadors. It will not affect judicial nominations. Republicans say they're going to allow their own senators to object to individual nominees in any given block, but the rule will strip away the power of the minority party to do the same thing. These guys don't think they're ever going to lose the Senate. And they may be right. I mean, they may be right. Thune initiated the process by bringing up a package of 48 Trump nominees who had been subject to the 60-vote threshold. I got to tell you, I am in favor of the filibuster going away. But this is important to note because Democrats, the vast majority of whom have been, have made this sacrosanct, but they don't understand that more often than not in the history of this country, the filibuster has been used to inhibit progressive legislation.
They know that. The Democrats that support the filibuster know that. They like it.
Well, they just lost their fig leaf.
But they have
want an excuse to not do shit.
Exactly.
I mean, you read read Robert Caro's books about the civil rights fight and the way people were talking about the Senate back then. We need to get back there.
Now, what should the response of the Democratic leader should be? Is it to say, good, because we're going to address the American public. We're going to go out there with candidates who are going to meet the needs and the expectations of the American public. And when we get into office, you cannot wait to see the nominees that we have that are going to fill these seats in labor and across the board. I mean, frankly, Democrats are going to need this to rebuild the government. Here's Chuck Schumer, who's going to tell these Republicans a thing or two.
Recognizes the Democratic leader.
Mr. President, I just want everyone here and in the country to understand what our Republican colleagues just did. For the third time this year, Republicans just resorted to the so-called nuclear option in the Senate, weakening the Senate even further and turning this chamber into a conveyor belt for unqualified Trump nominees, a conveyor belt for unqualified Trump nominees. Make no mistake, this move by Republicans was not so much about ending obstruction as they claim. Rather, it was another act of genuflection to the executive branch. Democrats have shown very clearly we're willing to negotiate. We did that at the end of the last work period. We were doing it today. But what Republicans have done is chip away at the Senate even more, to give Donald Trump more power and to rubber stamp whomever he wants, whenever he wants them, no questions asked. That is not the Senate's job. We're supposed to debate and take votes on nominees.
Oh, God,
I
already fell asleep. Listen, let me get to the quick about this. Okay. That's true. But we also are prepared to completely capitulate on the budget. But now that you've done this, we're still going to completely capitulate on the budget. So you're going to find out, misters and ladies, what happens when you do something like this, which is so horrific, that I am going to be 7 minutes late to vote on that budget that you want to pass. So it's not going to happen lickety-split. You're going to have to wait. Maybe you'll get hungry.
What kind of bull is this?
I mean, when we capitulate on the budget, we're not going to be smiling. We're going to look grumpy. And that's going to make you feel bad, right?
I liked when he said, this is about giving Donald Trump more power. I thought about who I'd heard this kind of phrase from before.
No, don't worry, because it's September.
Yes.
And the Republican Party, by the time September comes,
the fever
when Donald Trump's approval rating, you will see, they will not, they're going to start to break apart. How do I know this?
How?
Okay, well, here's plan B. Plan B is we're going to give them so much rope that they're going to hang themselves on it. Wait till they pass their budget again. Oh, with our help. Because
so much rope it reaches the floor.
Exactly. So much. Okay. All right. That's the complicated part. We're going to also tell them, you should step up on a chair and tie the rope there, and then you'll see.
Please step off.
Now, if they don't do that, we may have to vote for their budget again until they learn their lesson. We're going to kill them with kindness. That's what it is. Oh, you don't like me hugging you so tightly? Oh, well, there's more of this where that came from. So watch out. You're in big trouble.
Maybe if he did hug them really tight, it would work, honestly.
Well, my plan is to hug them so tightly they won't be able to vote. They won't be able to pull the lever. I'm going to need a little bit of help because I'm not as spry as I used to be.
There's still a minute left of this clip. You sure you don't want to?
Oh, yeah. No, let's hear some more.
Is grossly breaking norms by sending us woefully unqualified, unscrupulous, and in some cases deeply dishonest individuals for powerful and important positions. By going nuclear today...
Okay, pause it. So, now, how are we going to make them pay for this? We're going to vote for their budget, and then you're going to see what happens when you have all these incompetent people. Okay, keep going.
Republicans are saying we don't want to do our jobs. They're saying whatever Trump wants, we'll do it. Make no mistake, because of the harmful step Republicans took today, the historically bad nominees Donald Trump has sent to the Senate all year long will get even worse. Republicans now own even more than they had before.
Oh, my God, they own even more. See, this is the plan. They're going to be so bogged down by how much they own. And now, make no mistake, I made a massive mistake when I thought by now they wouldn't be doing this. So here's the thing. Sometimes you make a mistake by voting for a budget and waiting for them to capitulate on their part because Trump is going to be so weak and disfavored that they're going to be running from him. But here is the thing. A lot of people would say, I'm not going to do the same thing I did last time. But my father told me, try again. So we're only going to vote for every budget that Donald Trump brings up. And I'm telling you, by 4 years from now, watch out.
The American people are going to reward us.
Oh, yes.
That's the framework of the whole thing. They're going to own it, and it's going to help us electorally. I don't care that much about the consequences.
I mean,
of protecting people.
I still remember Chuck Schumer talking about the impeachment of Trump and their ludicrous limiting to what they were going after him for, and then saying, well, once this is all out, the American people will deliver us into power. And that's all it was ever about.
It's just amazing how feckless.
This whole institution.
How many times they have to launch the nuclear? I mean, the reason why they called it the nuclear option was because it was like scorched earth.
Well, for what the Senate basically says their role is, maybe, because all they seem to act as now is basically a weight around the neck of democracy. And they kill basically any bill that they can because it doesn't meet that 60-vote threshold. It's why we're passing, over the past 10, 15 years, historically low amounts of legislation, although Trump rammed everything through that he wanted to. In part because they don't care about the norms that Chuck Schumer is, I wouldn't say screaming, but upset about there on the Senate floor.
Oh, excuse me. You didn't think I was screaming? Maybe you didn't see me do this. I did this.
For emphasis.
3 times. I put my fist down, not all the way to the podium, but I literally moved my arms from my shoulders.
You're very aroused.
Yes, look at how aroused I am.
You're doing the Trump YMCA dance.
Yes, but I'm doing it in unison, so it's much stronger.
But if you get rid of all this filibuster stuff, then what are you going to blame your lack of ability to
Oh,
get
wow, that raises another point. My young Jedi.
You won't have a reason to call.
No, we're going to reimpose it for the American people.
You say that like it's a joke.
I'm not joking. We're going to run on reimposing the filibuster so that this can never happen again.
Hey, why not just raise the threshold back to 66 or whatever?
We could do that too. In fact, we're going to go one better. 75.
The average age of my caucus.
Exactly. And we will have it actually follow the average age of our caucus.
Yes.
So as we age, so too will be the vote threshold.
We'll need 101 senators to vote on
to
something.
do anything.
In honor of Dianne Feinstein.
Exactly.
Called the Feinstein rule.
We will hold on to giving away power with an iron grip. Oh my God.
Speaking of, Biden was one of the only Democrats, I think, in 2020 that opposed abolishing the filibuster and won the nominations.
There you go.
Well, I think of one we would like that was also not for getting rid of the filibuster, and then Bernie Sanders needs to change his position on that.
Oh, really? I forgot that.
He's always been a sort of Senate filibuster guy.
Yeah, that's dumb.
All right. 5 more IMs, then we're out of here. Hogtown. Rachel Gilmore, a Canadian journalist, made the most innocuous comment about the right being radicalized in this moment, was added to that stupid Charlie Kirk murderer's website, has been driven off the internet and had to go to the police because of people trying to find out where she lived, receiving death threats and threats of sexual assault, immediately proving her point.
Jesus.
One guy, one time.
One guy, one time.
This dog walker bit is so millennial Jon Stewart coded. Gene, please, please, please have Professor Jiang on the show. His YouTube channel is called Predictive History. He's been gaining some popularity recently. His geostrategy series is really interesting explanation on how we got to this point. Love you guys. Let me just...
Interesting.
Professor... I don't know if we'll have them on, but we'll see. Destro 7. Trump doing the dick jerk dance to YMCA is apropos.
Yeah, it's what's the only the band that will allow him to use.
It's his
their
favorite
music,
band
basically.
in the entire world.
Also, dude, it has a dance. It has a dance.
Yeah, but when you're that old, doing the
YMCA.
M especially is probably pretty tough.
It's a little bit tough to raise his arms. After all of that, that would be poetic. After he was so critical of John McCain that he's incapacitated similarly.
Okay. Space Lenin. Sam, how have you found ways to cope with the knowledge that everything right-wingers say and believe is complete self-serving bullshit? I'm 36 and it still drives me insane. I don't even talk about it for a job. It's difficult.
home repair YouTube channels.
Exactly. Yeah. I spend a lot of time looking at how to make a cement slab or how not to have to make a cement slab. That's interesting. And also how to pre-make truss, like a fully trussed wall.
That sounds cool.
Biscateful. Notice to Californians, please call your state senators today for concurrence vote on SB 79, which would allow for upzoning around transit hubs. Here in LA, we desperately need to counter NIMBYs. And 2 more. Small D Democrat, Adam Heartland. And the final IM of the week. Ralph. Ezra Klein's assertion that Charlie Kirk was doing politics the right way is pretty nutty, considering Kirk literally busted insurrectionists to the Capitol on January 6th for the purpose of overthrowing the government. Can we sanitize this guy a little more?
That was a busload of people sent to persuade.
They were persuaders. Matt, Ryan, Emma, great job this week. Dorsey, Kyle, Chris, Gino, Maria, Julie, great job this week. We'll see you on Monday.
It might take all the strength I got to get to where I want, but I know somehow I'm gonna get there. I wasn't looking when I just got caught between the truth and the light bar. But finding out won't make me feel any better. Yeah, I know the clock is ticking, but the meds are gonna kick in, and my pilot light shining bright. I get somewhere the choice was made, for the option where you don't get paid, for the road that bends before it finally breaks you. I guess somehow I lost my drive between the 101 and the 5. Do you know how far the detour takes you? Yeah, I know the clock is ticking, but the meds are gonna kick in, and my pilot light shining bright. The money shifted into you while I shifted in and out of